What's up, Grandma? Stranger9, good to see you guys. Raven. Angie Pangy. That's amazing. Huh. What's up, Chase? Mandala Fly, Tara. What's up, everybody? Okay, Grandma. See you later. Experiment is good. How are you? Also, welcome everybody, Mike, Brittany. Welcome everybody on YouTube and Twitch and X. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Salute, President Zadi. Welcome everybody. Jessica. Emily, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So I think we're gonna dive right in. Jesus is King just said, "Hi, cutie." Sounds like Jesus would talk. And God is here. Okay, God. So God and Jesus are here, guys. Thoughts on life being held together by sound? Not very likely. That's the short answer. See mankind and bring darkness into the world. Yes, sir. Okay, so before we get into the heavy topics, let me just fill everybody in who are newcomers. Welcome to the simulation talk number 77. Usually this channel revolves around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof we live in a simulation. I became vocal about an experiment that I've devised a few years ago. It's very simple. Anybody can try. It's not that I recommend everybody try, but it is the truth that you can do it. We meet here every single day to discuss the experiment, the discussion around it, the implications, as well as just science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind, we bring it up and we're having some fun with it. The experiment that I've devised, well, I think devised is a stretch. Basically what I discovered is that if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you ingest a particular molecule that I cannot name because of legal purposes on a live stream, you will see code running in surfaces. This observation has now been replicated over 1,000 times worldwide, and it connected me with some of the leading researchers in the field. It does not mean that all of them agree with me. In fact, some of them disagree with my conclusions, but I have my convictions and I can talk about them openly. The experiment is available to anybody to do, and that's about what this chat is about. If you're interested in watching longer videos, I actually just had an interview with Andrew Gallimore, who's one of the leading researchers in the field. The interview, I have a clip here. Not really sure what's going on with TikTok, to be honest, not sure if I'm being shadow banned or something, but on YouTube, you can watch it. It's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, or just follow the link in my link tree. As well, if you want to watch longer videos about these topics that you can see here on TikTok, you can watch all of it on YouTube in longer forums. Same thing, DANGO Thoughts, Dango Thoughts. Okay, let's dive right in. And if anybody needs me to recap what I'm saying or ask any questions, anybody is welcome to ask questions. Or even if you want, you can always drop a subject in the comments and then come up and chat about it. Everybody are welcome as long as it's respectful and productive, and we're not just going in circles about something that doesn't really matter to anyone. What is stuck in a loop for you? God. That's very fitting. Okay. Welcome, everybody. So, on YouTube, we have a comment by President Zaddy saying, "My LLM said it was a fallen angel sent to deceive mankind and bring darkness into the world via CERN." Ooh, so much to unpack there. First of all, LLM told you. That's good. Second of all, do you have anything else aside from just an assertion? Because I feel like assertions are kind of boring. Anybody can say anything with any, unless you have some good reasons to believe that, or you understand something about the way things are done at CERN, which I would say most people don't. Also, considering the fact that most scientists are just interested in understanding the world and not controlling the world, I would say that LLM is a little confused, or just extremely biased by some conspiracy thinking. You might want to inject some corrections to your LLM. Have you done any further research on the symbols, like how James Gates said there is binary code at the end of the universe, how they said God is the first code in DNA? Oof, man, you're making such blanket statements, it's kind of difficult to unpack them. James Gates is the scientist who discovered that at the not at the end of the universe, but at the core of equations of string theory, which some would claim don't even describe reality because they operate in anti-de Sitter space, and our universe is in the de Sitter space. However, if you ignore that, at the core of these equations, by looking at visual structures, he calls adinkras, and people keep memeing them and quoting them. He discovered that there's error correcting codes just like the ones that we use inside computers. Even though it does help mine is not really a hypothesis, I'm proposing an actual experimentation, which is different. So I'm not so much around this philosophical discussion. I was never interested in that topic philosophically, to be quite honest. It was quite boring to me. I didn't start by believing we live in a simulation. In fact, I don't prefer that. It's kind of, I don't know, it just makes things not neat, which I don't like. But if it is the case, it is the case, and that's what I had to follow. But I digress. The point being is that James Gates himself would tell you that he does not think, I will emphasize this, James Gates himself says he does not think it means that we live in a simulation. He thinks it means something much deeper. And he is right, because in the regular term of use of simulation, it's essentially a software that kind of runs on a substrate, which to some degree is correct, but the deeper claim is that the world is actually computational at bottom. So simulation in that context would just be one slice of reality, which is exactly what we're in, and civilizations that understand the structure can utilize it for different purposes, which I am now claiming one of them, at least the ones right above us, did. But it is important to mention because a lot of crackpots like, what's his face? Ben Carson. And if you're following him, you should definitely stop doing that because he's literally a scam artist. And I can tell you this without a shred of a doubt. They keep quoting people like James Gates without mentioning the fact that James Gates himself does not think it means we live in a simulation. So that would be on that front. As far as you said that God is the first code in the DNA, I've never heard of that. Ben, yeah, he doesn't seem fake. He is very fake. He knows basically nothing. I assure you, he has not read one book in his entire life. He basically quotes the most basic things from YouTube videos, and he doesn't even understand the YouTube videos he's watching. Billy Carson, yeah, not Ben Carson, sorry. Something with a B. Billy Boy. I have no idea how people don't see immediate just by the glazed look that he has in his eyes. Can't you see he's full of shit? Truly. And I don't say this usually about people, but I say this without any problem about him. This is crazy to me that people follow him. Who are we since the universe is bigger than us? Just nothing. Well, we can't be nothing because we're obviously something. And I know, in a lot of schools of thought, in order to sound extra profound, people like to say, well, if you search deep enough, you'll find out that there's nothing. It's not quite the same as the emptiness that the Buddhists are talking about, but nothing it definitely isn't, because you're something. So what we are is a good question, though. Yet to be determined, I would say. Greg Braden has a channel, The First Code of DNA. His God is. What's up, Emily? Always good to see you. All these sweeping statements about God and DNA, these are, I don't know. It just sounds like content for 5-year-olds. I don't mean to offend, but It's like blanket statements. Magic DNA. Magic this. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great episode with Andrew. I liked it. Uh, sorry, man. You guys lose me the second you start talking about Jesus and God. It's not that I'm not on board. It's just that I understand most people can't possibly know what that means, and they talk about it as if they do, and I immediately like stop listening. It's just I don't even control it. What we are depends on the observer. Is scrambled eggs fried chicken? Sorry, fast food Guido, this is too profound for me. I'm not sure that I'm fully following. Okay, let's see what we got here. Have you read the classified CIA documents, and if so, do you align with their findings? Well, if you're talking about the Gateway Foundation, that's I don't know who came up with this idea that something needed to be declassified. The Monroe Institute always had it open source. Uh, I've tried these Gateway Foundation tapes; they're incredible. But I'm pretty sure that that whole story about declassifying CIA documents is just a fake meme to draw attention because it was never a secret. You can look it up. Monroe Institute always had it out there. It was never a secret. So I don't know what the declassification exactly was. But yeah, it actually works. It's kind of crazy. Can we run the experiment on AI itself and see if it sees the simulation? I mean, that would actually be a great thing. Nico, good to see you, brother. Yeah, that would be a great thing to do. I mean, if you can attach a camera, but then again, you need to for the camera to somehow pick up the signal from the higher space, which I don't know exactly how to go about yet. You can you can try that right now. So Emily Moyer here. I've done a few. I've done a couple of interviews on her show. You should go check her out. Emily Moyer, Moyer, Emily Moyer on YouTube. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. And she's saying on YouTube, I've done a bunch of shows on Gateway. So yeah, so she can tell you that Monroe Institute basically had that always out there. Maybe I know the CIA was trying a lot of things. I don't know what maybe it just proves that the CIA was trying it, which is cool, but the technique itself was never a secret, basically. Emily said yes. But I get it. People like it. It's sexier when something was a secret. But sorry, it was never a secret. What declassified documents are available that show an alien language that people are trying to map? You asking or you saying? Because I don't see a question mark there. The universe is a big game of whose line is in any way. It's all made up and the points don't matter. And yet, these moments still matter. Literally. How is it possible our DNA can hold computer data? Because data is data regardless if it sits on a computer or anything else. The universe is computational. So information is just encoded in every single wiggle of existence. Error correcting codes are useful. Maybe systems that change over time just end up developing them. Well, in order to rise to any level of emergence of a certain level of sophistication, it has to have an error correcting system because errors are actually part of what the universe is doing. The universe constantly performs miscalculations all the time. And that is basically, in order for you to reach a certain level of emergence, whatever that means, we don't know at the moment, you have to have some kind of a thing that allows for error correcting. In fact, a really good definition, actually a much better definition than the Kardashev scale, than how much of the universe we can control, is how fast that civilization can error correct new problems that it has never seen before. That is a much better scale, by the way. A civilization that can correct errors very quickly of very difficult problems that it has never seen before. That's a very advanced civilization, because that means it has the type of knowledge that is so universal that it looks at any problem that might arise already as it already has some kind of a sub solution for. So when it arises, it just solves it. What's up, Charles? Good to see you, man. Wait, what is a poor answer specifically? What I just said? No, that's actually exactly right. But you can ask a specific question about that. We're heading towards transhumanism, and it's already been pathed. So I talked about this the other day. Any position that kind of like talks about the transhumanism as a bad thing actually does something ironically against what it's trying to virtue signal for. The virtue signaling here is we are the wholesome ones that protecting all the wholesomeness of all the wholesomeness everywhere. Okay, that's the virtue signaling here. The mistake is that you're actually elevating our current position in the evolution of the universe to some kind of a special status by saying, this is it. This is perfect. Any advance from this point is evil. It's bad. So everything. So you want to tell me from everything from the beginning of time that was evolving since the beginning of time, all the way to you, and now you say no. This is perfect. This is it. This is the special one. Yeah. This is basically the opposite of what you're trying to do. There's nothing special about us in the grand scheme of things, and we're going to keep evolving. There's nothing, it's not transhumanist, it's just information keeps evolving. You owe the evolution of everything, including your genes, your DNA, your mind, and all technology around you, all of it to the way that information evolves. To claim the agency and to take the front seat that we never actually took is hubris. It's just simply not true. So this idea that because we are evolving technologically, somehow it's evil, this is what the universe is doing. And resisting it is in fact the evil. All evils, all of them. I'm kind of following David Deutsch here because I believe that is exactly true. There's a line in his book, The Beginning of Infinity, that I always follow. All evils are due to insufficient knowledge. All of it. All of it. So the second that you start talking in the way of like, okay, we gotta pull it back together, it's evil to evolve, you're basically echoing the Catholic Church 400 years ago. It's basically the same position. It's couched in a really modern and kumbaya singing way, but it's exactly the same thwarted religious position that the church held. So congratulations. We are probably version 5 of the human, I think. So you got this from the second Matrix? And again, you understand that all of these definitions are completely arbitrary, right? Everything, you need to think of it from universal perspective. Everything is a continuum. Something is happening, right? That we know so far for sure. Whatever is possible for us to do is what the universe is doing. If you postulate for this separation between what humans do is, for example, synthesize certain substances versus things that just naturally arising without humans being involved, essentially the naturalistic fallacy. The reason it's a fallacy is because it's a category mistake. You confusing a value with the way that it came to be, and what is being obfuscated here is that somehow humans are outside of existence, because if there's nothing special about us, it's just the natural course of things. It does not mean that we shouldn't be careful and do things with and pay attention to what we're doing, but it is just simply not the case that we're somehow outside of existence. So whatever we're doing, plastic, global warming, wars, all of it, that's the universe doing it. So now we have some kind of a perception of agency, so we can take control of certain things, but it is actually a corrosive attitude towards ourselves to separate it, and what it effectively is doing is creating a delusion that we're outside of nature. And you're never outside of nature. All the what you call good things and all the bad things, they're all the nature doing the same thing. Now we again, nature doesn't really care. We should, but it's important to not make that separation, because eventually it leads you to hate yourself and humanity, which you can see that people do that all the time. We have already done everything. Yeah, that's the mistake. The process is infinite. The universe is infinite. So either you become part of that process or you die out. It's just it's simple as that. This sentiment of like, how far do you want to take it? It's not for us to decide or to say. It's just what the world is doing. I'm not sure how it's not clear that that position is actually the hubris position. Okay, let's see what we got here. I thought it mentioned on the show what the classified documents available that show alien language. Oh, I don't know. People share these things all the time about the alien language. I think there's quite a few. I don't know why. Again, I'm less interested in things that, like, you know, all of these like conspiracy theories about what the government releases. It's not that there's no way that there's something there. It probably is. It's just that unless I can do something with it myself, experiment with it, touch it, look at it, I don't care. It's just not. It's a waste of time. Do you have a question you want to ask my LIM? ChatGPT is unfiltered. Oh, cool. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of questions for it right now off the cuff. La 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 said, Amish people are the most evil then. Dielectricity. The delusion is defining ourselves as separate or better than nature. Yep. Thank you for putting words to my thoughts. I can never communicate them. Absolutely. I appreciate that you're here, and I appreciate I can do something. Can someone with autism see the code? I have autism, and I can definitely see the code. Okay. The laser technology stone cutting existed long ago. Something that seemed impossible are uncovered. Watch. We used to be able to fly. Now we can't. What are we going to do about it? What do you do with statements like this? How do you know this? What is the evidence for this? Why is this strong claim? What is the significance of this? Otherwise, why do you care? Only people with autism can see the code. The code is disabled. They say we used to have tails and we came from jungle. There you go. That is actually true. My accent? I'm from Russia. Have you tried it and look at the light from sonoluminescence? So regular light doesn't really work, but it was very specific about the fact that it must be a laser. But I've never obviously tried it with sololuminescence. I think you need special equipment for it, no? But that would be interesting to try. I'm down to try anything. Some Baltic in there. Nice. How did you know? My dad is from Lithuania, so I guess that counts. If you believe that you're not enlightened enough, we're too fixated on categories. Borscht is borscht, whether it's red or white. Exactly. Let me see something here. It'll be interesting to see if there has to be a way to do this simply at home, probably. Bill Gates has something called, oh my God, you guys, listen. Let me tell you right now. I love the people who come here, and if you're a fan of the channel, please keep coming and everything, and for sure. But all conspiracies, this is just the wrong channel. I just don't care. I don't care, not because some of them are not true. It's just they're not interesting. They're not interesting because there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, did you hear that? No, and I don't care. Why? Because there's nothing you can do about it. If there's something I can do about it, fine. But otherwise, I don't care. And you shouldn't either. So guys, spare me the conspiracy, seriously. There's way wilder things out there that are true than to postulate all these silly, you know. Let's find some substance. Let's talk about something with substance. What is I don't understand. What about dielectricity? There is a conspiracy of human ignorance, Nathan. Oh, by the way, I was about to watch the thing you shared with me, and then I got caught up with a billion other things. So it's a good thing I just remembered to watch it right after. There's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so much attention span. So if these kind of things fascinate you, great. But I really it just clutters your mind, and it makes you miserable. All these conspiracy theories, unless you're gonna actually do something about it. Otherwise, again, just don't worry about it. I feel like creationism and simulation theory is the same thing. Yeah, it's arrived at by very different methodologies, but sure, I can see your point. Also, I'm actually not proposing a theory. I'm proposing an experiment that you can run. So I'm not so much interested in the theoretical part of it or the philosophical proposition, but of the truth of the matter. I was never drawn to the simulation hypothesis. It was never interesting to me. Let's see. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Did you ever get more dragonfly clues? There was one yesterday, but I don't see them as clues. They're just kind of like, they appear sometimes. It was like a little kids park, and one of the rides was like a dragonfly, which is actually kind of weird because you don't see that a lot. What's up, Darude Sandstorm? I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. To anybody who just showed up, if you need a recap of what we're doing here, by all means, feel free to ask. If you don't, I would assume that you kind of know what we're talking about, or you don't care enough. but if you do, then let me know and I'll fill you in about what's going on here. A hint? Well, they kind of appear. You know, these signs, they kind of appear sometimes. They don't always mean something, or maybe they do, and I just don't know what that means. The experiment that I discovered a few years ago is that if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you ingest a molecule that I cannot really name on the live chat, you will see code running in surfaces. And this has now been replicated over 1,000 times worldwide. You got it, Shanti. And so we meet here every single day to discuss the experiment, the observation, the discovery, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. I've had a crazy synchronicity that has happened to me a few years back. Tell us about it. Synchronicities are a big thing around this thing. So General Sherman. So so all the newcomers, this is kind of like the general recap. You can always watch my videos that are pinned up to the TikTok channel, or you can follow my link tree also in the description for the YouTube videos that are a little longer, but they have more information and more outline of what's going on and why we're here and what we're talking about this. And well, we meet here on the daily. So do you see a lot of oh, by the way, everybody on YouTube and Twitch and X, if you don't mind liking the live, it definitely helps the algorithm. Do you see a lot of religion and science converging this century? Yeah, I think it would have to happen in the next few years, actually, not even in the next century. Maybe not religion. What's up, Lydia? Welcome, welcome. Thank you. But definitely the inner world observation, let's call it. So the inner science and the outer science will definitely have to converge because they're part of the same project. Okay, Andrew. Thank you for the like, Nathan. Appreciate you. I find the overlap between physics and Buddhism fascinating. What specifically? I think only on the surface. Buddhism doesn't really make any real claims about, aside from the fact that, the Buddha used to talk about kalapas, which is really funny. They're like the subatomic particles of consciousness. I was praying and my prayer was answered in that moment. That's amazing. I'm very happy for you. I asked for a specific sign and apologized, but I have a habit of self-sabotage. That's not good. What's up, John? Relax, relax. Relax, bud. Came to Athena Road, of all places as well. All right. What's up, Larry? Haven't seen you in a while. Dan, do you think that the molecule allows you to access the dream state while being awake? No, because the DMT, the molecule space, it feels more real than this. So it's dream, you go back, you go down somehow in your conscious awareness. The molecule goes up to another level of awareness. So if anything, it's actually the opposite of dream. So Phoenix multiverse game. Jane saw a car coming from the right and thought I have time to say the prayer. Allow the car to go by. Okay. By the way, if you go to YouTube to Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts, you can just type the whole thing because you don't have limits there. Sup, First Cause. Sup, everyone. I think because Buddhism claims that reality is an illusion, quantum physics has taken an interest in Buddhism. Indeed, quantum physics has never taken interest in Buddhism. And I would actually disagree with, even though it is true that the Buddha basically said that you want to get out of the house, I would disagree with the premise that this is an illusion because you still experiencing it. So on this level of emergence, that's not an illusion, that's a real experience for you. There's higher levels of emergence for sure, but it does not necessarily mean that this is an illusion. But yeah, the quantum, I don't know if you meant it like in some, just general hand wavy way, but nothing in quantum physics ever got interested in Buddhism. That definitely never happened. And also, nothing in quantum physics says that this is an illusion, by the way. Do you only see it with the molecule, or can you see it without the substance, like meditative state? I can't. Like I said, I met some people that can, but I can't. Yeah, I never managed to do that. It's probably right to think we are the most advanced technology that has existed. Ever? No, definitely not. The civilization above us is orders of magnitude more advanced. And they're just one level up. We're not talking about a few levels up. Oh yeah. No, but not with like alternative things. Like it's always some kind of a molecule. So you can do fungi, you can do with Aya, but that's all molecules. Nathan is asking if I could do like breath work or something, right? The scientists have had interviews and meetings with monks, etc. I'm pretty sure you can find those videos on YouTube. You can find anything on YouTube, but if you want to share something specific, I assure you if that happened, like I can say this without watching it, right? Like with 100% certainty. It had nothing to do with them doing science. It's just maybe some scientists met monks and spoke to them, but that was not part of them doing science. I think it should have been, but it definitely didn't happen in that context because it's just not how physics thinks about things at the moment. You said that one chick saw it without the molecule, 2 chicks. But again, Nathan is asking about a particular just like natural state without any molecules. You're not convinced of what, Andrew? Spoke to them about quantum physics. Yep, they did. No, I'm saying that there was never in the context of them doing science, is what I said. They might speak about a lot of things, but that's just not how science is done at the moment. But again, you said something very, very general. Probably sounds like you heard this as a rumor, which is very common. But if you've seen it, please find it and send it to me. Let's see. I'd consider Buddhism an early representation of what occurs within the mind and nature. Early representation. What do you mean by early representation? Buddha light, distant star. Thank you, Caldarian. I appreciate the dinosaur. Not a science, it's a religion, a representative of some angle, maybe truth. So I actually would not consider Buddhism to be a religion, even though it has religious elements. I would define religion as the need for a dogma. The core tenet of Buddhism is not the belief, but the practice. This is what makes it very different than any other religion. Because even though it has some metaphysical claims attached to it, the Buddha himself and the core practice is the practice. It's not the believing of it, which means that if you practice and you do it exactly right, you should see it for yourself versus believing something. It's based on direct experience, which is actually a scientific method. So in that sense, you can call it more of an introspective science than a religion. It does make what many Westerners would claim unsubstantiated claims. I would say that the Western science is a little confused about it because there's not enough information on the table for it to assess in the proper way. But it does not fit into the regular template of a religion because of the fact that it's basing most of its the main drive is the experiential part, the direct observation, just like in science, versus believing an idea that you've never had experiential access to. A lot of things always come back to frequency and vibration. Right, because frequency and vibration just means a movement of a thing, and everything is moving. I know this word is very common to use as associated with something mystical, but frequency and vibration literally just means the movement of something at a particular rate. Is there a red flag if my girl has 3 arrests and DUI? No, she's a keeper. Not a science, it's a religion. What is a Tesla quote? Is it a red flag if a girl has 3 arrests and a DUI? Tesla said that? That's amazing. We resonate at certain levels and higher consciousness. You're not very spiritual, are you? Actually, I'm very spiritual. I meditate every single day. Did a lot of meditation retreats. That's exactly what makes me understand that most people have no idea what they're talking about. They just like to aspire that on social media to talk about how spiritual they are, but they have no clue what the first thing about what the practice actually entails. It's more of a kind of like a me game versus the actual practice that is required. People who truly, in that practice, they don't talk about it in that way. They just practice. If you want to understand the world, consider it in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Sure. Deny yourself? Oh, you mean like the self? Yes. But Cool Guy 42, one thing is very important to outline, that there's a lot of quotes that are said by smart people designed to distill an essence of an idea or a methodology, not designed to actually deliver the full element of truth. The truth about Tesla was that he couldn't stand the whole spiritual supermarket. He couldn't stand it. And this is his words. So like he's spinning in his grave when people quoting him in the context of all of these spiritual pursuits. He was very much not down with that, just so you know. The truth and understanding is key. Of course, don't... wait, I think I missed something. Hello, kitty. Hello, kitty, hello. Buddhism is not a religion, but a way of life, according to them. People definitely ran with it, probably. Their own thing. They're extrapolating the quote to tie it into unrelated stuff. It's all vibrations, man. Yep. Basically. Like literally, Tesla turned down an enormous amount of money because he discovered that the people who were offering him the money were very much into this kind of stuff. So like he would be literally he paid for not being a part of it. Not convinced there are organisms above us? Well, yeah, if you never had the direct experience of them, then I don't expect you to be convinced. That's a good thing. I find everyone who got vaccinated has turned into an NPC. Jesus Christ. Okay. Told you, conspiracy theories not here, man. It's boring. Thanks, Connor. It's boring, boring, boring. It's mediocre mind stuff. Let's do something more fun. What's my favorite thing about myself? I think you asked me this before, Peter. I have no idea. Really don't know. But it's a great question. It is a good question. It's hard to answer because you have to like really think about it. It's got to be real, otherwise you just sound like a tool. Leonardo can't power system test on your October 4th free energy. Huh? Oh. You're right. I should have thought of it more. Yeah, Andrew. So, yeah, you can watch some of my videos about the discovery, and then you can kind of. Am I a fan of Wolfram? As a person, I don't know, but as the new physical theory is very interesting for sure. Definitely, I think is one of the most promising frames at the moment. You'll ask again in the future. Maybe I'll come up with something in the next few minutes. I have to think about it. I think let me think. What do I really like about myself? I'm actually very accepting. So like I can come across as very what should I call strident sometimes. But the truth is that inside I'm actually considering any point that somebody gives me truly. Like even if it sounds I mean, not a thing that I already thought about a billion times, and I know I twisted it from every angle. We don't need to waste our time with every single thing. But if there's something, even if it kind of like just pokes me inside the wrong way, but I've never really thought about it, I'll let it in. I'll like think about it. Maybe that. You think pizza and fast cars? Who doesn't? You gotta be such a bore to not. I can't eat pizza anymore. I'm one of these. I'm so lactose intolerant at this point, but I love pizza. I can still drive fast cars though, so that's good. Yeah, I'm very open-minded, like in the most true sense of the word. The theory, yeah, I love the theory of Wolfram. I mean, again, I think it's very promising. Is what the best thing I can say. Thank you for the question, Peter. What do you like about yourself? You have solid emotional control and patience when engaging with folks. Cool guy 42 said. I don't know, man. Not always. As I don't know if you noticed, but today I'm on one. I mean, this is it's I'm allowing myself to be like that, but sometimes I'm kind of like, all right, what's up? And that's okay. It's a mood. It's a vibe. But I'm still know that if you're expressing your ideas, I'm still actually listening to them. I'm just a little bit more resigned today. So I don't know if today is the best example, but overall, yeah, I'm trying not to lash out on people because I think they're silly. Every minute is breaking point. Your creativity. Oh, that's a really good thing to love about yourself. I can make everyone feel noticed. Ooh, that's a good one, man. That's actually a very important one. I think that's the thing that makes people that kind of like if you can present that in a get together, when people are together, that's an amazing skill because people feel included. There's a good vibe. Everybody want to communicate. Everybody wants to be a part of the conversation. So that's a really good one, man. Patricia Black, I haven't seen you in so long. Wow, I missed you. The Roombas are in the house. Where have you been? Or am I just streaming too late for you? I can make you relinquish your alive in this very moment. You can what? Bro, take a hike. Seriously. I've been taking some time off the app. Oh, good idea. Yeah, Lydia. Good to see you. YouTube is Dango Thoughts. DANGO Thoughts. Um, First of all, I never said that my favorite thing is that I'm intelligent. Second of all, you don't know me. Yeah, you enjoy your days too. There's that patience I was referring. The guy literally like uh, talking about unaliving people. You can't feel me, bro. I assure you, you can't. All of these claims are vacuous and empty. Also, I saw some of your comments. There's no way that a person that thinks the things you do can feel other people on the level that you think that you do. I guarantee you that. I dreamt I was eating giant marshmallow, and when I woke up, my pillow was gone. There's that. All right. What do you like about yourself the most, Cool Guy 42? Cool Guy 42 is a good friend. We're just not naming him because I don't know if he wants to be named. I don't like to eat on an empty stomach. Hmm. I think a lot of negative comments are bots. I couldn't imagine the psyche of some commenters being actual real. If they are, we are lucky not to experience that psyche. Couldn't agree more. Hey, everybody are welcome, as long as it's somewhat respectful and there's no like bad mouthing. So just so you know, whatever this handle is, 5Maki, whatever that is, people actually can. I allow people here to go pretty far with their comments. Now, if I misunderstood you, it's a different story. But I think you were talking about unaliving or something. So that doesn't fly here, just so you know. We don't do threats here. That I'm not gonna stand for. Gotta get some work done. Plug your Gallimore chat. I'm gonna watch that later. Have a good night, brother. Good night, my man. I think a lot of negative. Oh yeah, we're ready now. I like that I get excited about people's growth and expansion. That's a beautiful one. Whoa! Online bully. This is dope. I think we're being infiltrated by leftists over here. But this is still dope. Good job. What's been happening while we've been away? Dude, we've been away for a while. I don't know. There are a lot of things. I released an episode with Gallimore today. That was fun. You can watch it on YouTube. Dango Thoughts. What else? Yeah, things are just slowly moving. Documentary is underway. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really keep track of all the things. Just show up every day and we have some conversations. Had some fun ones. Are you back officially now, or this is something that you're kind of doing like a little bit, and then you're going back to not being on the chat? What's up, Trinity? Do I understand correctly that you understand there is a higher intelligence than humanity, like ETs, for instance? Yeah, I know for a fact there is. Why do you ask, Lydia? Hmm. Yeah, it's a good idea, actually. These breaks are very important, I think. So I'm glad you're doing that. Whoop. Whoop. Am I familiar with human design? Yes. It's actually kind of staggering and crazy how well it works. I watched the video and that is what I got. Just wanted to be sure. Oh, got it. Which video did you watch? The one I'm talking about, the simulation? And why do you ask about human design, Patricia? Got it. Yeah. No, definitely that is the case. Are you aware of that? Yeah. Care to share your HD type? I just recently rekindled my interest in. Oh, human design. I think it's generator. Maybe. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's a generator. I think the one that can only accept invitations by. It has to. You basically have to nod or say no with your energy. Basically, is whatever that is. What is yours? Architect. He's an architect of great vibes. Who is Trinity? Generator to responding. Oh yeah. So generators. Oh yeah. So I think we're the same. It's the most of the population, I think, right? What's up, Matthew? The topic is usually simulation hypothesis. I am. Whoa, Trinity. I mean, that's a huge compliment. I'm not sure that it always works. Today's not a good example of that, but I appreciate it. Definitely something that I would like to strive for. The topic is usually the simulation hypothesis. I'm claiming to have found actual proof we live in a simulation, and we meet here every single day to discuss science, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, and whatever comes to mind. Sometimes we bicker here. And I'm glad you're here. What I discovered a few years ago basically is that if you project a diffracted laser on a surface and you ingest a particular molecule that I cannot really name here, you will see code running in surfaces. And this has now been verified over 1,000 times worldwide. I listened to a lot of stories from individuals telling stories while under trance about data stored in DNA. It's a little general, Lydia. Can you give me a little bit more details? Extraterrestrial is more like extra-dimensional. Yeah, I agree. You have 38 people enjoying your design. Well, wow, thank you. So this is something you should like about yourself. You definitely make people feel good about what they're doing. So thank you. I appreciate that. Also, your name is Trinity, which is a name straight from the movie The Matrix. So you fit right in. Tap the screen, folks. Yeah, I agree with that. That would definitely bring the live up. I'm wondering what type you are. Yeah, I only okay. So basically, I used to not. Well, first of all, I didn't know anything about it up until maybe 2 years ago, and then when I learned about it, I kind of checked it very, very skeptically, and I was kind of blown away by it. And then somebody explained to me a little deeper only recently that actually manifestors can literally just like they can pick up a phone and call some CEO of a company they never met before, and they would just answer the phone, things like that. And that's kind of wild. Yeah, human design. Did you ever read the Gene Keys, Patricia? I really want to see all the 7 wonders of the world. Well, that sounds awesome. Thank you for the likes, Nathan. You're always aliving the live. Yeah, Gene Keys is very interesting. You know the story behind it? What's your name? What does a name mean? What does that mean? Oh, what my name means? My name? Well, my original name is Dennis, which is basically based on Dionysus. So I guess whatever that means. The story of Gene Keys, yeah. Well, the story of the whole thing, from the guy who wrote Human Design, and then Gene Keys as well. I changed it to Danny because when I was growing up, nobody ever called me Dennis. So I changed it legally to Danny because it didn't make any sense. Everybody called me Danny. Rai and Ibiza, yeah. Well, that was the guy who wrote the Human Design, right? And then that was one of his students who wrote the Gene Keys. The way that I got into the Gene Keys is that I listened to this podcast on the Rick Rubin podcast with the writer, forget his name, of the Gene Keys, and that got me interested because it sounded like super down to earth. I mean, Peter is easy, right? That's from the Bible. Easy, like to know the deeper meaning of. Richard Rod, there you go. Yeah, so he was one of his students, and he felt like he didn't go deep enough, and then he was kind of like channeling the Gene Keys. You should listen to that conversation on the Rick Rubin podcast. If you just do Rick Rubin, Richard Rudd, it's a really great conversation. They do like a tea ceremony, because Richard Rudd is like a big on in these tea ceremonies, and then they're talking about the whole story and how he wrote it. Yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it. What's your view on the proof of Jesus Christ, and with the technology we have now, where do you sit? Sit or stand, right? If I have to be honest, I never considered it to be even true. I thought it was a nice allegory or a story. But then I saw I guess in hyperspace you can call it, I saw some elements of what Jesus is. And so now I don't have a choice but to accept the fact that there's something there. I guess that's where I stand or sit or. Did you hear about the guy that got this whole left side cut off? Sounds terrible. Thank you, Trinity. Did that happen in snowboarding? Because of your handle, I'm kind of assuming. Why did you ask, Peter? Whoa, today's just gonna remind everybody on YouTube and TikTok and X, if you can like the chat, if you can give it a like, it helps a lot. Appreciate you all. I watched the Killer Priest show, Wu-Tang rapper. It got me into drinking tea. It's like a whole ceremony thing. I just dropped in. What are you about, dear? Thank you, Sassy Cindy. We're talking usually about the simulation hypothesis. What kind of pants does a psychic wear? I don't know. What kind? A paranormal pants? Nice. Thank you for the likes, Andrew. Appreciate you as well. Keep them coming. Keep up the good jokes. Okay. All right. So, ooh, it's already 11. Dude, I have to start streaming earlier again. This is this is becoming a regular time, and it's not a good thing. I really got to start earlier. Okay. Well, I do feel that yeah, we'll adjourn for today. Patricia, I hope you're gonna join maybe tomorrow, and I'm gonna definitely try and do them a little earlier. This is a little bit too late. Yeah, dude. And I'm on the West Coast, and still it's a little bit too late. But thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Peace and love. We're here every single day. You can check out my YouTube channel. It's Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. I have some fun videos there. You can just follow the link in my bio, the link tree. All the connections are there. And yeah, I hope you will. Multidimensional adoration. That was good to see you. It was great to see you, Trinity. Thank you so much for the great vibes. Peter, Nathan, Sandra, good night. And everybody, First Cause, Lydia, even Online Bully. That was good. Cool Guy 42, love you, man. Breathe a light. First Cause, President Zaddy. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. YouTube, X, Twitch, TikTok. Love you. See you tomorrow. Ciao. See you, everybody. Good night.